All right. Tonight's cigar and whiskey talk was going to be about how much I hate the Walmart. The Walmart. However, I was sitting here going through some email, and I got a link to a video in my email. And it was some guy purporting himself to be a doctor. I don't know. Never met him. Never met him. You know, on the internet, you can be anything you want to be nowadays. And he was going on about the COVID vaccine. Let me introduce you to tonight's whiskey and cigar first. I walked by this several times tonight, and I thought, that looks like paint thinner. This is still house whiskey. Until tonight, I had never heard of it. Comes in a metal can. This is Apple Crisp. And I walked by it several times, and I could not resist trying it. So, that's what we're doing tonight. It's a clear liquor. I don't know if you can see that. You can't. Never mind. And tonight's cigar is going to be a Joya Black. From the Nicaragua, I believe. But anyhow, I was watching this guy's video. And he was basically lumping all the folks in who don't want to take the COVID vaccine with the anti-vax movement. Which, some of them, I'm sure that's the reason. They're just completely against vaccinations of any kind. And some of them you can see their point, some of them you can't. Because this is just like every other thing. There are folks on both sides of the aisle who are crazy as a shithouse rat. And are generally not good representatives for their side of the movement. So basically, this guy was saying that all the folks who are anti-vax, which a lot of people are against the COVID vaccination who are not normally anti-vax, myself included, basically don't know what the hell they're talking about. And he went on about how they have no credentials to support their opinion on this. So I guess to put something into your body, you have to be a doctor to have an opinion on it. And if you don't have, and if you're not a doc, then you shouldn't have an opinion. You just do what the fuck you're told. Apparently, I'm going to test the limits of whether I'm allowed to cuss on YouTube or not tonight. But anyway, he went on about how this is perfectly safe and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. How many, I don't know how many people we've seen stories on in the past who took a vaccine that was supposedly safe and it ended up killing them. You know, it's not a high percentage, but if we're going to use other movements reasoning on this, if it saves just one life, should we do it? And I had some My Body, My Choice t-shirts made up with a picture of a mask on them. That's going to torque some people off, I'm sure. But anyhow, back to this guy. He was going on about how if you don't have any credentials, you don't have a right to have an opinion. Basically, you know, he didn't actually come out and say that. Well, he might have because I turned him off. That's very apple-y. And got a little aftertaste to it. It probably tastes like you'd think of something coming out of something that looked like a paint thinner can would taste. It's all right. It's not bad. You know, if you guys follow this stuff, I mess with a lot of the higher end scotches and things like that. Not super high end because Kevin doesn't make that kind of money. But I don't like cheap scotch either. But to not be a snob, I want to let you all know that I drink the other stuff too. Jack Daniels is probably my favorite whiskey. And being Christmas, it's just about time to switch over to Winter Jack. But anyway, I saw this there and I figured I'd try it. Okay, back to this clown. And I say that with the utmost respect because I don't know what his credentials really are. He probably said someplace in the interview, but I got tired of listening to him. Here's the deal. You can be mad at me for not wanting to take this COVID-19 vaccination. And you can be as mad as you want to be, and you can say I'm not qualified to make that decision, which, if you really want to look at it, I am qualified to determine what's going into my body, but I'm not qualified to determine whether that vaccine is safe. And none of you people will explain to me how it's safe, or how it's unsafe, or how effective it is, or how ineffective it is. I saw a report on the internet just a couple of days ago that said that the vaccination or the vaccine was 95% effective. How'd you come up with that number? Okay, if I want to go 95%, I need at least 20 people in the study, correct? To do this correct, I would have to have two studies, one where people don't get the vaccine and one where people do get the vaccine, and they're exposed. Okay, now group one, you're not vaccinated, and I expose you to the COVID virus. How many of you are actually going to get sick? That's what I need to know. Now, if we do the same thing in the second group, we vaccinate you with the supposedly safe COVID vaccine, which I don't know whether it is or not, and I don't care because I'm not getting it because you can't prove to me it's safe. But anyway, you would have to expose those people to COVID and then compare those against the first numbers to figure out how many of those people would have got sick in the first place, and then tell me out of the remaining people how effective it was. It's not just like, well, we exposed 100 people and 95 of them didn't get it. That's fine. I know hundreds of people who didn't get the vaccine, so we're already above 95%. So, here's the deal. We're all so good about throwing these specials together when it suits our liberal agendas in the media. How about throwing a special together for us right now and prove to us that the vaccine's safe? Not just tell us it's safe, prove it's safe. I want to know who was tested. I want to know how many people were tested. I want to know how many people would have got it, who would have got COVID-19 if they weren't vaccinated. I want to know how many people would have been saved from the scourge of COVID if they did get vaccinated. And I want to know why we have been able to come up with this vaccine so quickly when we've had other things that we haven't been able to come with a vaccine in all of history that are much more deadly than COVID appears to be. So, I guess that's where I'm at with my rant tonight. I guess I'll do how much I hate Walmart later. Thanks for your views, thanks for your support, and thanks for you putting up with another rant. Talk to y'all later and see you in the woods.